Alright, and we're back. Now we're going to question Russian girl. And I need to get to my channel. Oh, it's the Canadian. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's talketh to her. Did you know anything about that knows those nuts words? Those are nuts words. I don't know what I said. Did you know that someone was killed in a cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died. He was my he was my friend of mine. I'm going with it. Oh. Since what the hell? Sorry, I just checked something. Oh damn. I officially have 150 followers. I am happy. I never noticed this. I just looked. Look at me. 50 away and I can get to 200. Yes. Das ist hype. Das ist hype. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you... She came out of nowhere. Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking? I can't think of a voice that would fit him. Oh! So, if you've played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, or seen some characters, the voice of Zeke in English would fit very well with him. Having a Southern English accent sounds amazing whenever I think of it for his dialogue. Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened. Miss Pavlova? Her name is dumb. Pavlova. Pavlova, yes. Is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I can think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. Running away! After this, I'm gonna do some examining real quick. You've run away from, your ballet. Let me try this one more time. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? No, the Novovich Ballet? Alright. Das ist cool. Das ist cool. See. I'm traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. Nani? 4 people now. I will never, yeah, what, yeah, she already said, she said. You wish to forget. A challenging proposition where you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I don't know what that was. Live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little water. Food and water, excuse me. And we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So, you ran away to protect yourself? Yes. And the... And the crew... and the crew of the ship, they have all been so kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Okay, alright, got it. Hypocrite. Alright, well that was a funny. Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Boreas stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it. Of course. Right? Right. I look at the users, and I notice a certain name called Ace. That's it, just Ace. So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. That is not your business. Yeah, yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry? What was that? And it's how the Russian newspapers describe one of my performances. And that is how I came here, too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel. Aha. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist a touch of dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the detection. Words once said about myself. Right, Missy? My dog was just looking at me. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the for the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. And I'll never stop stuttering. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board, according to the rules of passage. Oh please, don't tell any of the crew that they found my precious. And the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. My dog. I don't want to give you too much, Missy. So here. Oh shit. Hold on a second, gotta lift up the couch. Just casually say, I gotta lift up the couch. Anyway, as I was reading. So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. Well, what sort of pet? Moogle Man. What sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? Jesus. I should probably go to the mod view. Name an adorable little wabbit. Wabbit. Bothering me. Alright. Ha! You created Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh. Don't they have rabbits, the small rabbits there? You may well ask, I have no idea. You two are miserable bugglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken! A chicken? Sounds like Ace. Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that. Well, it appears this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. There's my mom in the background, and like that. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual, it reads. 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then, a few moments later, 1:35 a.m. what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. You wanna stand in front of the fan, Missy? Look at me. Speckled band? I don't understand. Hey, yo, that rhymes. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator, he mentions, joins to this cabin, you see? It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected to each other. Oh! Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything. Oh. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott? Yes, what? Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once. Please. Alright. I will come now. What? You must leave. No. Oh no, it's fine. Don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Royman. Get out! The passenger said out. Or you want me to throw you out? It looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. And so we lost our chance. And we still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. We were unceremoniously. Alright, you know what, screw it. Reading's hard for me today. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Yes, I would like to save. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we'd managed to find some clue to what that speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us, as if to say, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on our wrists, my wrists. Oh, okay. No, we're going back. It looks like we're still investigating it here. Yes, on the subject. I wonder if Inspector Hosonaga is unscathed. What do you mean unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten. Have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Ah, you're back. Inspector. What happened to you? Your face is dead. Please don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe. When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. Looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yeah, so I understand. Oh! I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholmes? I don't think it was German though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes then? We can tell what we found. Yes, let's do it. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, a self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel. Oh my god. Up. Up. Come on. Come here. Come here. Up. Come on. Up. Come on. Come over here. I've been trying to trick my dog into getting up. Up. Come on. Over here. Come on. My dog's being weird. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case, at least. Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, no, I definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation in here provided fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So, I'm just keeping watch here. Trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Ah, there's one. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what? Yes, dude. Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. New information. What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. I don't have anything. It's okay. It's almost time for you to be fed. It's only 3:19. Come on now. Alright. Go lay down. Go lay down. Lay down. Alright. The brewery's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report? Or Kazuma-san. Excuse me. So what was the cause of death? Yeah. What has it been? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds for other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison, but it turns out that they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used? I don't know, maybe a snake? Considering they kind of spoiled what might have killed Kazuma, like, directly in the beginning. Anyway. Nothing has been found as yet. But the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object. Something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck would induce death. It is possible, and no obvious wound will be left. Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place. First place, wouldn't I? Ah. Oh, excuse me. Post-mortem. What was that? Post-mortem? The great detective. Oh, Mr. Soames was here, was he? Yes. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now you mention it, yes, just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish! Was all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass. Do you see? I think about getting a bit closer to the fan, but I don't want the fan to be in the mic. Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark. Do you think? Yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is this, Sasato-san? Well, Kazuma was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan. A sort of dark brownish red, then? Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as he scuffed on the floor? Why are you breathing on me? Why are you breathing on me, Missy? What's going on? I know it's hot, but you don't gotta breathe on me. You know your breath stinks. Don't be breathing on me. Don't be breathing on me. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. As I return to my post, my fellow crewmates' eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you. Ahem. Ahem ahem. Is that what coughing sounds like to people? It sounds like ahem ahem. Poor Inspector. You look exhausted. Oh, no. Well, if I feel terrible that I failed to... I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asagi-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I've seemed to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. Heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. Boom boom. Hey, look now, Naruhodo-san. Seaman Stroganoff has gone. Strong? Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us. All these Russian names are impossible to remember. Tra-la-la. Did you hear that? Sound like someone singing. Tra-la-la-li-la-li-la-la. I did the great I did the great detective way. That's caroling. I know that lark-like voice. But never mind that now. This is a good opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. You must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can investigate. You know, words, right? Definitely. Before that stringy knot crewman comes back. It's Stroganoff, not stringy knot. Yeah, but if we can't see him here, he must be. Oh my god! Oh, it's Mr. Solms. Look. Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing. He needs to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. I did it the great detective way. I just imagine he's the best singer. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high hopes? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than he could chew. And though it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky her luck was about... excuse me. I solved it all and I stood tall. I did the great detective way. Mr. Solms! What is it? You want to fight? Honestly interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is a good, good a time as any. I nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Alright, I get the picture. That's a better way to read it. Now, could you put those fists away? Oh, excuse me. Add seal away. Mr. Solms, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the luckily stockily built. Okay, that makes sense. Crewman who's usually on guard here. Yes, the crewman. The ship's log. And did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries were blank. Which means there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Aha. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Solms? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman off to stand sentry in the first class passageway. He has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report. Precisely. But simply... Wow, but put simply, the seaman... Yeah, we're not doing all that. The seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. You mean... There were circumstances afoot last night which led to the seaman being absent from this post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? I don't know why I made her sound so whiny for a second. That was weird. That remains a mystery for now. There remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget this regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. Sorry, I'm just getting close. I'm just sitting closer to the fan now. There are important details I will stake my life on it. You must log this ship's log in your mental file. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. I don't see anything. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is. I see. What makes Sholmes Sholmes? Uh, oh. Oh! Ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning. For some reason. This morning for some reason. Nothing more. Blink. Well, my friends. Until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Sorry. Something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. Just... well, I feel the same. I read it so fast. Sorry. Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Susato-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right. For Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma. That was weird. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san, by ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. All the books toppled over together. Look, every single one. You think that's a sea god of sea crabs? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. And Cosmo's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase? I don't know. Should you really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage. Not everything bad that happens on this ship is because of me, you know. Anyway, I set them all straight again here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside. But according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Bura. I wonder if Buria or Bura, I forget, I'm not sure how to say it, might mean ship. Or, I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? The cabin door has the same simple, sort of, I gave up on that sentence. The bolt's drawn across. There's no way anyone could get in the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a it's not a particularly heavy bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No. And the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt from the inside. And it seals up perfectly too, to stop any seawater coming in. So you wouldn't use the method you told me of, passing a thread through a crack around the closed door either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. There's a few books on the desk. Nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading. Books written in Russian. Thanks, I think I probably would have already knew that. Sorry, hold on a second. There we go. It's rude to ask too much of people in our Hoda-san. Kindly remember that. I don't want to remember. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped, more like it was put there deliberately. Oh, do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? I suppose every cabin has a... Okay. I'll be right back. I'm gonna feed my dog. I suppose every cabin has a wastebasket. Right, wastebasket. So we will look inside and see what was been thrown away. No, hold on. It's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know. Ugh, those eyes. They're looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly. We have no choice. There's hardly anything in there at all. Oh, well, it's a little disappointing. It would seem this teapot is empty. The natural conclusion is that the Russians are very thirsty people. Or because Miss Pavlova only came onto this cabin last night, she hasn't had a chance to make any tea yet. I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? Damn. I've done nothing wrong. Ah, yes. They're displayed in this cabin, too. Sorry. Too. Look. The SS Burias. Burias? I don't know. Rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I suppose Ms. Pavlova realized that she needs to keep the contents of her case a secret after she had read this. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friends has disappeared now. Disappeared too now. I wonder where her, yeah, that. Alright. It's probably having, fun exploring the ship, I imagine. Just hopes, Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Oh, yes, so do I. Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here, yes. Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see. You know. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. So this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must be to open the ventilator into another room. Huh? Maybe. So that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. Well, that is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled van coming out of this ventilator. Uh-oh, it's a ding-a-ling-ling. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward. Full stop. Yeah, excuse me. Hard to starboard. All hands, brace for impact. What the? Who this? Incoming missile. Shut up. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Susato, hold on to me. Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? At all? I think I'm fine, thank you, Naruhodo-san. Oh god, everything bad happened. Seems like we avoided a collision. I think... yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness. What about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Oh. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Imbector Holsanagus. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Open the door. Unbolt the door, quickly. Ah! I don't know what that voice is. It's like Obama randomly came in. Open the door, quickly. Look at that. The door is bolted. Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Oh, that's strange. How did... Look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. No, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I'd better tie this place up first. Why? My violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what waited us on the other side of the door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. To be continued. I feel like I kind of have to do both now. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made the emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath and gently slid back the bolt. Ah! You! What are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, well, how did that happen? The dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we had an emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere. This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean someone pressed that button outside? You wicked intruder, dressed all in black, you are the devil! Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is the first. Oh wait, I forgot she's also, Russian. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No. We didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector. Inspector. Yes? Arrest this man. Arrest this man. I know he did it. He's a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man. Da! And he's a stowaway. A stowaway? Why I say it like that? A stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Take him away. He's a trespasser, as well as everything else. The rolling of the R's. The R's. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She's right. You are devil. You are devil. I'm slowly to sound like Gru. It doesn't look good, does it? There's a cell below deck. Throw him out. throw him in, not out. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there something you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After all, my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. See, he won't help. She doesn't like me. He literally can't help. But maybe, just maybe. Nah. What the hell? What the? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? Naturally, I was analyzing what awaits of a 20,000 rubles felt like on one's head. Have I told you that as a detective it is my business to know what other people do not? This is mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh no. Well, why are you hanging from that hook before then? This dude's weird. I need a drink of water. I'll be right back again. I am back. Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I was to determine if would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall so full of brag and bounce. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. What the hell? Today might be a long stream. I'm not feeling tired so far. So, yeah, let's hope we can have a good long stream. Ah, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector. I don't know what that was. Ah, Inspector. I confess, I've been looking around for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is the report? Speak! Speak! An urgent report from a great detective can mean one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Furia, has been solved by me, naturally. What? Really? Yes. I have limited all other possibilities. No, what the hell was that? No other explanations exist. So allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction of this case. Ha! Yes, so even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for getting student boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is stowaway. It is the stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. Ah! The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim, because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. I struggle to speak. You have no idea what it's like to struggle. Sorry, just resetting something on my computer. I'm gonna open and close my computer. Alright. Okay. That means the culprit must have been someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Locked room. Excuse me, locked room. that is point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way that there's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from the outside, from the cabin. You're all quite mistaken. The cabin door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there's another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the... If you hear a lot of sounds, I am sorry. In order to gain access to the cabin despite the locked, the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why gapes open mouthed at you even as you speak. The ventilator man. The ventilator. Gah! You think this is funny? It cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arm's as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through the tiny opening? It's not possible. But it is. Sorry, once again I'm looking at stuff. Okay. But it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Solms, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. It's mademoiselle. She's not married. I think. And what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There's a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I'm about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Yeah! Ah! What the? Quaid, you said Sholmes was a Chad? Look at this Chad. He is handling a snake on his face perfectly. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The speckled band. A snake? Indubitably. Mr. Sholm, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? Yeah. You will see and observe with distinction, however. Do you not think that's precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it's time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, Last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. Ah! And number 2. That same friend was responsible for the victim losing his his life. No. No. Sorry, hold on. Okay. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Wow, that's a... Alright. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. He's hit the head on the nail. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Alsogi? It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Intruder's identity. Miss Pavlova, moments ago, you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, what you call those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And is that very pain that and the evidence is your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? That probably is not how you say it. Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? As I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tale of a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably, the specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this, what was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes. That which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's sloughed skin. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. Anyway. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, though the ventilators visible in this cabin, Your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young man who was about to lose his life as a speckled man. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake, whose markings change each time it slows its skin. Yeah, I think it's slow. A snake so dreadful, a snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. A beloved speckled snake. How Mr. Asuki died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? Oh, excuse me. According to the data of which I have been apprised, excuse me, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that fact, sorry. Sit right here. Ah, that's better. We can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased dead bodies. The deceased's body will... As a deceased dead body, it's redundant, will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible. Imperceptible? Yes. Puncture wounds that by the venomous fangs will... I'm sorry. It's kind of bothering me, but this is a constricting snake. They don't use venom. Anyway. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite. Hey! Get away. The vestiges of the snake. A snake bite, delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There is no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't. It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had to use to train your serpent friend? To train? Indeed. You put the serpent through this ventilator, and wait. After a period, you summon it back with a whistle. You could know the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true. Having exploded through the ventilator down and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once more. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the bespeckled, oh my god, of the speckled band that took the young man's poor life. There can be no doubt, my logic is infallible. Death by venomous snake's bite. There's a lot of flaws. Oh shit. This concludes Herlock Sholmes' great detection of the speckled band. Yo, Rick, you still here? Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You solved the mystery. Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Herlock Sholmes has been, excuse me, has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable, as the Russians say. I could have done it without one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just, about your deductions before, some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm sure it would be impossible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there's something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There's one other. You have more? Snakes use their scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So I'm not really sure that a snake would could manage to climb a climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Please don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, you don't mean... Yes. We need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So cast your eyes down to your wrist again. What? You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see the restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes. When you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts you. Oh god, it's still going. I dropped the controller while I'm trying to charge my phone. It's at 3%. She looks as though Cosmo's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is that? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Nani da yo? Oh, Naruhodo-san. Yawn. That looks like a very painful wound. Looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recent too. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here.
Yes!
Claw scratch. Yes. When you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed. A simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch some time last night? When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I'm sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it's that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? I'm gonna keep going with it. Hold on. Naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? As I expected, another telltale glance. Excuse me. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Alright. You've seen like the scratch marks on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand? Was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well, well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Oh, excuse me. Ah, look at the photograph in this picture. This might be something Miss Pablo brought with her when she ran away or something. Yep. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true, but personally, it's the little cat creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we better take a closer look at this. Give me a closer look. You mean yes! Present? Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. The whereabouts of this kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! Darka's my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Who does? She's indeed she's getting caught in 4K. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue, and yet that fact leaves us in a quandary. The fact-ridden observations on the night in question tell us a speckled band, whereas regrettably, the specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. Close. Open. What explanation can we then give? That's not what. That's what he said, actually. Pray? What was this, what was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me! This has nothing to do with any of this. But it does! You have the answer, to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes. That which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be this, snake's slowed skin. Did you see that? She just pulled something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known. Oh yes, employees like that are Mr. Stone's specialty. He's ever so slightly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was his specialty, or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that it's the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova's, excuse me, hiding behind her back? Well, it is speckled, and it is the band, but what is it? Seems to be soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth or some sort. It looks like a handle at the end. I think it may be a cat's toy. This is sort of common in the West, apparently. How's that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it around for them and they pounce to catch it. Ha! That sounds positively adorable. It also sounds like...
Yes!
It sounds like yes! Yes! The thing you are trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. Ah! Oh, I made it sound like... Okay. And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. Shoom. Stop. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, it's probably... The cat... I hate you. I knew someone had to make the joke, but it was not going to be me. Miss Pavlova attempted to use a speckled cat's toy to incite... What the hell? Incite the creature to... I imagine just playing Among Us and saying... oh my god, red ventilated! Like, and they were like, what the fuck? In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Kia! A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged at once. At once? You missed critical information. Well, are you playing this as well? You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. Oh, borrowing. I was right. Borrowing. Why, whew, man, reading is kind of hard sometimes, you know? What the hell? Sorry, there's an ice cream truck outside, and it doesn't sound like the one that usually comes around. Oh, when Twitch died. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus. You're gonna be hearing an ice cream truck. Or not. It just went away. Never mind. Alright. Okay. It was after I gave her... that's not her voice. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand, and then ran up the bell cord. I'm sorry, Rick, but no. You shall not get ice cream. Before I could do anything. Once again, not her voice. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. She ventilated. I hate it. That's stuck in my head now. Darka. She's so naughty. Oh my. You know, I could make a joke out of that, but I'll leave. I'll, I'll leave it to Rick. He's the pun man. Moving on. Moving on. We come to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. Shump. Flee. How does this young man lose his life, and why? Discombobulate. Sorry, I had to. It reminded me of the Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr. No, I'm not in trial yet. I'm in the I'm still on the boat. According to the data of which I want to do, English people say data or data? I think it's data. Probably. I don't know. I haven't heard anyone from Britain or the UK in general say data. You know, according to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible What Shum says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma's body. That's right. But Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's needing now. For you see, his neck is broken.
Yes!
In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes. I knew it was one or the other. Exclamation point. His neck was... him. Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it as the scene of the crime. Yeah, first case was really good and was really long. I played the first 3 Ace Attorney games, and those first cases were not that long. It was weird how long it was in this game. But I liked it though. We can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it as the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be... My voice is like getting to the point like it's gonna sound like Hinata is talking. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found though. That's not her voice, but I don't care anymore. Presumably, Darga didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I don't know what that was. I suppose it's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. That was not her voice still. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck, excuse me, completely by accident. Oh yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that can explain what happened? Ah, yes.
Yes!
That wasn't intentional. Yeah, it's like, like first one is understandable, but at least with Satoso, like she should have at least believed that I wouldn't have killed Kazuma, right? Like at least, like at first thought, that shouldn't have been her first thought. Everyone else makes sense. There's no other person in the room. But Satoso, I mean, she dropped all faith in me after that first trial. Yes. Whoop. Yeah, get that. Yes. An examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. Yeah, because I was in the closet. But you know, like I said, like for the rest of them, they at least they can assume that I had some kind of trick. Sato weirdly came to that conclusion, even though she's like the assistant of defense. So you would think she's, you know, really smart, but she's seemingly kind of like the Maya of the game, but smarter. We'll prove, yeah, conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Is it weird that in my head, shoe was read as show? I don't like that. Shoe polish? Indeed. Positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Does he like... I don't understand how he gets it over the cap. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. I didn't know that. You learned something new. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asagi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asagi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor. The structure of these sentences have been getting me sometimes. Mostly because I don't read, because I'm a Dragon Ball fan. You know, on the floor and tripped. Please, no. And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell on the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No! I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? Snap. What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asagi lost his life? I doused the inspector. For Seaguard, maybe, if there's an actual person involved, though. But I'm sticking with the fact that it was probably the snake that caught him off guard. He started to fumble around, and considering that the shoe polish had been snapped in two completely, he probably stepped on it by accident. Sometimes weird things can just like snap in two even if you step on it, which should shatter into like a million pieces. But and so then the shoe polish would have you know, splattered. By splattered I mean like when he stepped on it, it didn't go much anywhere because it's under his foot, slipped, and he fell down dying. So either his neck was broken by the time the snake went around him, he moved too much because he was panicking, So it's constricted so much to the point it broke its neck, or because of the snake even being around, he panics, fumbles, ink falls so he can write the message, then slips on shoe polish that he accidentally steps on, then falls, breaks his neck. Those are possibilities. Who knows? It literally could be one of the seamen. I hate saying seamen, by the way. So many easy jokes out of that. Alright. Yes, the facts are clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. I would assume most likely the wastebasket, but alright. You can't really hide anything in there. And there. Kazuma merely tripped over it and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. But, and if this part of Mr. Sholm's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. My name is Kazuma. I'm reminded of the anime Konosuba. Oh my god. Oh, I just saw that you gave me a follow, Loops. Thank you. Oh my god, my phone is going crazy right now. I got one notification, I say it's blowing up. Aqua's still a useless. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, because in my opinion, with Ace Attorney, it's always like a murder case. But I feel like this will be a murder case, but we have to prove evidence that it was an accident that he died, rather than someone actually murdered him. Because according to past Ace Attorney games that I've played, which is literally the first 3, I haven't played the ones with his adoptive son or daughter. It's Phoenix, I mean. So, or the Edgeworth one. I haven't played that one either. So, but from judging from the first 3 I've played, it's always been someone has murdered somebody, and it's usually through external attacks. Say like, you know, I stabbed him, or I pushed him into, you know, a fence, which would be the 3rd case with the Steel Samurai in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. And it wasn't until Trials and Tribulations, I think with the 3rd or 4th case that you're in, they actually do poisoning, and I think it starts to become a bit more apparent throughout the games, maybe, because in the first one, in the very first case of this game, is poison. So they might be trying to change up how people die now, rather than being straight up murders through acts of violence or something like that. So, you know, it'd be cool if they switched it up. It's cool that they're switching it up, though. Right, you know, here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes. Where I wonder. That was a weird way to say that. Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. I went to look in there. This is a wastebasket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. Ah, there it is. Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. Oh, it could be possible that the cat knocked down the shoe polish. Because cats like to knock down things. So once again, an act coming from you know, an animal. So yeah. And I feel like I've seen it before. It looks familiar. Perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you? Alright, cool. I was right.
Yes!
That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Why is it called a waste paper basket? Just call it a waste basket. Ah. Hey. If a cat did the murder, I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of the broken glass on the floor in Mr. Ostagi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. So yeah, probably the cat. I'm trying to fit the snake into all of this because in the very beginning they showed the snake being a problem. I don't know. As you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why it would be that part of the glass object which evidently broke at the scene of the victim's death? I want to fit the snake into this somewhere. Like possibly the snake chasing after the cat. The cat gets scared, runs across his desk, knocks down the shoe polish and ink, so that way he can write in Russian. And then the cat sees the speckled band, goes up there, and then later gets hidden inside the traveling case. And now the snake is looking around for the cat in the other room. I'm not sure. Why would it be that that part of the glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death? She's probably gonna go to jail. Let's be honest. I mean, maybe. Oh, they might split this into two. I don't know. Should be found in the wastebasket in your cabin. I'm calling it a wastebasket. I'm not saying all those syllables. You're well acquainted with Glass Bell, are you not? I don't know. I don't know in that hushed Russian accent of yours. Won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the Bell question. Oh. Alright. So maybe... Okay, alright. One, that bell belongs to the cat. So possibly... One, I don't know why he would have shoes at 1 in the morning. 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway. So maybe he was scared about the snake. Because, one, either the shoe polish was fresh on his shoes, or he literally tripped, scuffed his shoe, fell down and died from either his neck breaking from impact or the snake constricting. The pieces are coming together, no pun intended. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruto. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova that whatever, it's the cat.
Yes.
Jesus. What happened to the cat? Actually, for it to fall off like that. Whatever. If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darko's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life, I almost said lost his wife, I'm letting you know right now, lost his life last night, did so after a truly inauspicious fall. Shroom. In the case of the faithful stumble, your absent feline friend, Darka. Alright, the cat's going to jail. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Into the kennel the cat goes. Dramatic lighting, mini games done. Dynamic duo, the game. The mini game. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was... oh. My dog is barking. It was a little after 1 in the morning. Oh my god, Missy! Hold on a second. Sorry, I had to give my dog a treat so I can calm her down. Alright. What did she say? Let's see. Okay. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darga, so I gave her some food. And then all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. So she was so fast she disappeared through the ventilator because before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of her back of your hand, I take it. Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes. Modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's precaution that, really. Actually. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, he thought it's safe to try to lure the cat back again by dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator. What's that? The ventilator, and into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it doesn't. But it didn't work. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I didn't read the last word. I didn't read the last words. Nothing worked. Alright, good, I was right. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Cosmo wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... Oh my god! I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. And afterwards, nothing. Imagine dying to a cat. Oh no. There's been a lot of deaths around lions. I'm sorry, that was terrible. And afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Cosmo was killed by a cat. Okay. From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. Sounds about right. Mrs. Beery is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Hazuki was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching, when the kitten got under his feet, might kill a cat now. He's not going to kill the cat. He's not going to kill the cat. A combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. Yeah, it sounds about right. Because I knew something. Because before, around the second time you fix books, I thought, what if it was like the boat, you know, doing a harsh tilt, which caused them to be off balance, and then when the cat came into play, then tripping came to be for me. So yeah. But what became the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again. Oh no. The snake ate the cat. Gracious, that cat is insufferably restless, as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the next cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Okay. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? And where did it come from? What? Oh my god. It's his snake. Oh my god. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on aboard the ship? Oh, I didn't say? Snake is my friend. His name is Pirozuko. I'm calling him Piro. Good boy, Snake. What? The snake belongs to you? That was weird how I said belongs to you. He escaped from cage when when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You ought to be so long without close friend, without someone who understands. Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake? Surely, you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Piro does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He's adorable, like Granny. It's venomless? Yes. Now he's hungry, so he's in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see Big Smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say, wait, what? Like they say they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Hiro eats mouses. Big fat round mouses. Ah, oh, so is that what that mouse trap in the passageway out there is for? Of course. How else can I catch my foot in his favorite food? Nothing says top of the morning. Top of the morning. Did I really say top of the morning? How much Jacksepticeye have been watching? Oh my God, Sholmes, no. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault. I did not make up the story. Ma Puro is Pirosku. Pirosko? I don't know how to say that word. I don't speak Russian. Is nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Whew. Yeah, everyone's speechless. Miss Pavlova? I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotoba? What lies? Miss Paula just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events, an accident. Well, it is kind of her fault. She brought the cat. I'm not a great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. Yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. A discrepancy? More like a contradiction. I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues in this matter. Oh, I'm only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Miss Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you're not finding your shackles too uncomfortable. What? Not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You're Mr. Sholmes? You were Mr. Sholmes? Wait, what? You were. What? Okay. Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Where's he going with this? Yes. Cosmo was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. What's happening? Why am I uncovering it? Yes, whatever that may be. You're the detective! If anything, we have two detectives. The key to this, the discrepancy in Ms. Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. Truth behind how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I'm so confused right now. I don't know, maybe she murdered him, but how? I mean, I don't know. What motive would she have? That's what the last one actually lacked, but they actually put into the story that there was no clear motive. So I just want to know what could have possibly been the reason to kill him. Right? It's so weird. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. Unless she accidentally murdered him. We'll figure it out during the trial. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What should we ponder first? Is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside was truly an unfortunate accident? Yeah, because like they take English class, so obviously she was in that room. Other than the seamen, she's the only one that that speaks and writes in Russian. And for it to put wardrobe, she must have she would have to have known yeah, she would have to have known Ryunosuke was in the wardrobe, because like easily she could have tried to hide the body, opened remove the seal. Oh my god. Open it, see Ryunosuke, put him on the ground. Oh, so then closed it, put it back on there, because there was a bunch of hand marks on there from the from the beginning anime, and then put him on the floor, dipped his finger in that ink, and then wrote wardrobe. She didn't know his name, so she couldn't put his name in there. And I want to know what Ryunosuke looks like in What? In Russian? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first place. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kid that had climbed into the cabin via the ventilator. Tried to guess, but still an accident. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right here in Cosmo's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show, time to present evidence. Evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. Poor dude, like, mere from the yeah. I would assume it's literally this.
Yes!
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asuki could have left his message on the floor. That script? It's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. Oh dear God, it literally is like how the second case was. Death to the cat girl. No, because like, think about it. They tried making, they were trying to make the partner who helped us in the first trial blame us by having having a note written out. Oh man, what does she have against him? Alright. We just need to figure out motive at this point. Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would have would leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was studying Russian. Nope. We were studying English. It is a simple language. He could have. Excuse me. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly. What I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asuki could have left the message on the floor. And the reason why is, oh yeah, because his neck is broken. The reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae and resulting in instant death. Instant death. I mean, you could break your neck from tripping, but it's just that this looks so covered up. Alright, so we didn't get our accident death case, but hopefully we'll get it sometime. Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything because he was already dead. Omayo wa mashinderu. That's not the only reason either. Because there's something else we found in Mr. Asuki's cabin. A remnant of something that could possibly have been there. If what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? Maybe a 7 could induce it. 7? I'm confused now. So Sato-san has noticed it too then. Putting the message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. A piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. other words, what could it be? Oh. Uh-oh. Let's read this out real quick. Let's see. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if Miss Pavlova told us it was true. Oh.
Yes.
Sorry, I was a little slow there, but I just remembered that the cat was there. This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around his neck. We already know all about that. Did we just... I said cat, though. So did I just make a rhyme for no reason, by accident? It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Yeah, because she had to be in there to actually hide. Yes, remember, we found the other half of the glass in the waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asagi last night in his cabin, that there was no... Yeah, there was someone else in there. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah. The inflictions was really bad on that. I apologize. Okay. Yes, there was someone else present. Oh, who was saying hold it? You're all wasting time. Someone else was there? Da, of course. We know this. It was her. End her life. Oh, it had to be you, bro. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolstered shut from the inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. And only other person in cabin when young student died was you. Don't say yes. It's true I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. Jesus Christ. As I was saying, the person in question, the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. An attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been sleeping there the entire time. We're rhyming today, aren't we? And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor for fear of becoming evidence that would show how Asaki really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes. Well, It was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. Oh. Alright, see ya, Rick. It was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. A single lamp suspended in the ceiling would have barely cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? Oh my god, he better shut up. Sorry, hold on. Seaman Stroganoff. Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before she was dancer on the ship, a member of ship's band. What? You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. So you say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I'll give you my tooth. Don't give me your tooth. Well, this is all most interesting. Why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You're a great detective. You should know. Excuse me. Looks truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was cabin bulkhead. Okay, cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go in cabin. Not Nina. Not anyone. Obviously, it was before everything tilted. Anyway, or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Niet. It's impossible. Ugh, he's right. But wait. I've read about this in detective stories. Often people tie threads around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside. Thread? Are you stupid? Those bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are waterway doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Sorry, that was a weird way of saying that. Alright, looks like it's just me and you, Loop. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too, but Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so Sato-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been built. Sorry, this man's damaged face and glasses are finding me right now. The cabin door couldn't have been opened shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind. Excuse me, having been used before. I don't believe it. I really don't. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the door, excuse me, shut the bolt of the door from the inside? From the outside, excuse me. One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Shone means, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed, we have. So, oh, Jesus. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the... Oh, wait, what the hell? Wait, okay, it doesn't do the thing.
Yes!
That... Look at the bookcase there. See all the books, and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its entry. Emergency stop. I said entry. I'm actually dumb today. Loop, please forgive me. That must have been. Here we go. That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Whew. Yes, that's right. It's a very. If I ever stutter like too much in one sentence, I'm skipping it, and you've already read it by the time I kept stuttering. Oh, jeez. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel, after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, I violently jolt across the entire ship. Very small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what you know as the force of inertia acting on the objects. Is there nothing Sasato doesn't know? She pulled out the book, or that isn't in her book at least. Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over the books on the bookcase also, excuse me, also had something else in the cabin. The bolt cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then, hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, yes! That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the boat flew across and locked the door. Yes. Yes! And it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of ineptia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night after Mr. Asage was killed? This is the SS Bruria made another emergency stop. When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asagi's cabin. Oh, I'm alone. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Bruria had made an emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't it, telling you only to press it in times of emergency? On dark nights when the fog is dense, the cabin cannot afford to rely on eyes look out alone. Once the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. No. Wait, it it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bells, a bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Damn, 3 hours? Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed. Whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with the ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now. I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes a complete stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, whatever we must consider, yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asagi, did the ship make an emergency stop, or did it not? You are idiots. Buria is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make an emergency stop everyone in the middle of the night, there would be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us, good man. Evans promotes the theory that some
Yes!
ship's log. Seaman Stroganoff. It's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship, isn't that right? That is correct. Why? The ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That's in mine. You rather carelessly left it atop of the little makeshift bureau in the passageway. And as responsible passengers, we took it to our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, is something that under normal circumstances you write the phrase nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log. That is, because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Well, Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Buria. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's logs, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish! If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. Can't imagine that anyone would sleep through all that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no. No. That's a good point. What of the throbbing? Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, man. Your head, man. the throbbing of your head since this morning? We have all suffered with it. Oh yes, I have a headache. You're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since the dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right, my head's been throbbing today too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside that wardrobe. Then, the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on. By that point. Why didn't I wake up when all this was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo. You boarded this ship, this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Cosmo looked after me. We're always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken? Chicken that was served yesterday morning. Evening, I take it. Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Cosmo wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? Oh, I do. No. Really? Really? Is that really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with by the addition of a soporific, designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless that is, a member of the crew was a conspirator. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, see, man. I'm sorry to say that any more description in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there will have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals. For aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no more. I will tell everything. Yeah? I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help everyone together. So she threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. They wanted to help her anyway. I don't believe it. You're alright. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice showing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Da. We cannot make all drug. How do you say? Dissolve? Talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought a angel on the board. She was held by comrade on shore with a small fishing boat. All the passengers of the SS Burya slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion. Their evening meals had detained. So, if that's what happened, anybody awake on the ship that night, last night, were the crew, people who just like chicken, and the newly worried passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been impossible for you. Impossible. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Cosmo's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked. In that case, there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins. After which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes! The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolts of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to a major stop in the early hours of the morning. You have talked long enough and said many things. What is point? Point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in the attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of the glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. It's someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night, I suppose. But I didn't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl. I like to speak with you long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories we don't believe. Sailors like me, because only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes? Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind? What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No. You must hear it with your eyes. for observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe that the time has come. For one fight. We're ending tonight. Today. We're gonna have a revitalized stream. Alright. Later today, or maybe tomorrow even, there will be a stream. If it's today, it'll be called Part 4 Revitalized. If it's tomorrow, Part 5. So yeah. So, with that, thank you if you're watching the VOD for the later parts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the 40 comments. Excuse me. And yeah. For those who are watching the VOD, thank you for watching. I appreciate your views. Alright. I'm signing out.